The Simply Label podcast family all over South Africa, Africa, and the rest of the world. Hey, tada! Welcome to this week's episode. It's going to be probably the shortest one thus far, yet I believe many who get to listen to this will benefit a great deal from this one. Today we speak about love and leadership. What's love got to do with leadership, someone may ask? I say everything. It all starts with loving others as you love yourself. If you can't love people, you can't lead them. Love is a verb. It is expressed in action, in giving, in service to others. It is selfless and sometimes sacrificial. Real love is never demanded. It is always offered. So I had a conversation recently with my son, and it was all about love. Not the way you're thinking about it now, right? So you can imagine, my son is 20 years old, and I had to find a way, and I actually prayed before we had this conversation. I said, Lord, give me a way that I can reach out to my son and be able to land strong messages with him in a loving manner, in a compassionate manner. And so, I believe my prayer was answered, and I spoke to him and I said, okay, let's talk about love, son. What does love mean to you? How do you actually know when someone loves you? And I got to tell you, I love the responses that he gave. So it's like, no, Dad. By the way, he calls me Pops, not Dad. It's like, no, Pops. When someone loves you, I see by the way they treat me. I see in the way they act. And I thought, wow, those are profound responses. It sounds simple, it sounds insignificant, but it's actually profound. It actually really just went to the heart of what love is. Many of us enjoy listening, and it is nice to hear when someone tells you, I love you. But as the old English saying goes, action speaks louder than words. And this statement has never been even more profound than it is in the context of love. Love is always expressed in outwardly because it is an internal posture of the heart. Right? Can I say that again? Love is always expressed outwardly. Why? Because it is an internal posture of the heart. You know that someone loves you because of what it is that they do that expresses their love for you. That's why I always feel sad when, especially in our country, and I don't mean to bring this in, but I think it's important that women and children, particularly girl children, have suffered gravely at the hands of men and boys who claim to love them. They love them so much that they beat them up. They love them so much that they speak down on them. They love them so much that they abuse them verbally and physically. That is not love. Love, that is hatred. You cannot claim to love somebody and intentionally hurt them and come back and claim that you love them. So I want to speak to my sisters for a few seconds all over the world. And if someone claims to love you, believe their actions more than you believe their words. Believe their actions more than you believe their words. So this conversation with my son, without revealing too much what it was about, but it really inspired today's conversation, love and leadership. So I want to put a few things out. Usually I like to prepare a couple of points that I just want to land, systematically for every episode that we do. But today I just really felt to speak from the heart because often, the way we've been conditioned from a leadership perspective is that leaders, particularly in the corporate world, leaders are supposed to be these serious people. When they show up, people must look serious, and they run around and look like they're busy and they're doing work because the boss is around. I'd like to submit that That's not necessarily an ideal environment. And if you follow our podcast, a couple of episodes ago, we did one on toxic leadership. And without getting into what we discussed there, very often when a leader leads from a perspective or a point of departure that is not fueled by love, it is often expressed in how they treat people. It is often expressed in how they speak to people. It is often expressed in how they handle conflict. It is often expressed in how they handle problems being brought to them, right? And you cannot fake it. You simply cannot fake it. I want to put a few points out and say, if you find power to be more attractive than people, you are not ready to lead. You are more likely going to manipulate your way to power or to keep power. Leadership is a love affair with the human race. It is a labor of love. I want to repeat that last statement. Leadership is a love affair with the human race. It is a labor of love. You inspire people because you love them. You empower people because you love them. You forgive people because you love them. You are patient with people because you love people. You encourage and lift up others because you love people. You cannot fake your love for people. Therefore, you cannot fake authentic leadership. Love liberates, but fear paralyzes. Love gives birth to trust and freedom, but manipulation gives birth to fear and insecurity. If the outcome is inspiration, then the process is love. But if the outcome is fear, then the process is manipulation. Can I repeat that? If the outcome is inspiration, then the process is love. But if the outcome is fear, then the process is manipulation. I want to end this week's episode with this quote from one of my favorite authors, speakers, and leadership coaches, in my humble opinion, of all time, Mr. Simon Sinek. And he says the following, and I quote, "Leadership is not a rank or position to be attained. Leadership is a service to be given." Close quote. Ladies and gents, this is where we end this week's episode. I did say it was going to be a short one for this week, but I trust you would have picked up, some much needed nuggets out of everything that we have shared. Please feel free to, in fact, I encourage you to follow us and to click that notification button. The other thing that I want to ask you to humbly and please do to just go ahead and do is to give a review, put in a comment, and rate our podcast as honestly as possible, because what that will do, it will then flag our podcast as one that can be recommended within the categories within which we are recognized. Recently, we got a great recognition for the work that we're doing. We want to continue to grow and do it to a lot more people who need to hear these positive messages. Thank you so much. Have yourselves a brilliant week. May your heart be fulfilled. May your heart's desires, at the core of who you are, be fulfilled. And may you be blessed. God bless you. Thank you very much. Have a brilliant week. Bye. Tada.